Good evening.
We are
Johan La,
Uyan Hwang.
host of this session.
We hope this session will be a great opportunity to share our passion to the aerospace. It's honor for us as NURA's Chief Responsibility Committee to be here KOR-UAE program. Thanks to Young Astronauts Korea. This video is about Young Astronauts Korea. This time we will tell you who we are and what the rocket contest is and our utopia. NURA is founded in 1992. We are now having 24 universities are as a member. And we hold rocket contests and conference every year. Finally, and having network for amateur rocket study as huge as a laboratory.
Watching this timeline, we want to tell you 3 points of our history. First, before 2001, it will be possible for us to contact among 3 or 4 universities instead of internet. After 2001, using internet, we named our group and made a frame for our system. Second point is, unlike other countries, Korea is still having armistice, so it is really hard to select a place to launch a private rocket. That's where we had difficulties to have the event. Fortunately, since 2014, we could get a place to launch regularly thanks to support from Kari and Goongun. And the last point is, we are not sure if other countries are different, but for Korea, Students Association, University Student Associations are the biggest problem in the University Students Association are administrative system and financial parts. Most previous events were not having solid administration system, and the financial resource was from the students' pocket. In this situation, even worsely, pandemic strikes, much more difficulties occurred, but thanks to the support from YAC, we could overcome the stage we had problem on financial parts and administrative parts, system parts.
Those are emblems of the current NURA members. These are the poster and the regulation of 2019, the 28th rocket contest. This was the first time that NURA had fully established administrative system, including documented proposal, timetable, and score sheet of 28th rocket contest. We want to show that the university students can solely and perfectly organize and host this huge program. We are really proud of it. I mean, really. I will wrap up the brief explanation about the rocket contest here, and now my partner will introduce NURA Festival, specifically the conference.
We host our own conference too, though we also submit and present the papers to the formal academic conference, the Korean Society of Propulsion Engineers. For the last part of explanation about the rocket contest, we will show you the 28th rocket contest launching video.
Of course, all rockets were not successful, but we could feel their passion. These are our thankful sponsors and supporters. We'd like to express our appreciation today.
There are various rocket contests around the world, like NURA contest too. We benchmarked their operation and management system. Though we certainly believe that NURA rocket contest never be inadequate compared to those other contests. Of course, our development, increasing value of the contest, and sustainability are important too. But NURA's genuine utopia would be motivating students who will lead new space era to try to reach their goals in their young age, not giving up. Now, we will finish with the picture of the last year's rocket contest.
And for the last part, and we will introduce our next speaker. He will explain one of the rockets which will be launched this year's NURA Festival.
Good evening. I'm Yoo Chang-gil, President of SRS, Korea Aerospace University. Today, I will talk about introduction of Society of Rocket Study, type of rocket building process of our solid model rocket and hybrid rocket. SRS was founded on April 26, 1988. It aims to enhancing aerospace study by academic researching and making rocket to test and launch. We usually design and launch solid model rocket and hybrid rocket. In the case of solid model rocket, diverse types were tried, including two-stage rockets. This video shows model rocket launching in 2018. We host model rocket seminar every year for new members to do the self-study about the basic theory and structure of rocket launching. During the summer camp, our members built their own solid model rocket, hybrid rocket, and two-stage rocket, launched them at NURA rocket contest. And in addition, we've been learned about rockets by participating in the KSPE through NURA since last year. Before we get into rocket designing process, let me tell you about sorts of the rocket by its fuel. Roughly, there are three types. Solid fuel motor rocket, which is easy to build, but thrust power uncontrollable and low specific impulse. And liquid fuel engine rocket, which is thrust power controllable, high specific impulse, but complicated and dangerous to build. And the last one is hybrid rocket, which is safe and thrust power controllable, but has low combustion rate. Korea Aerospace University mainly make KNSB solid fuel rocket and hybrid rocket. The following are our rocket designing process. First, choose fuel and the pressure of combustion chamber. For solid fuel rocket, mix potassium nitrate and solvitor in certain ratio. And then design internal ballistics based on the result from CEA or PEP code. After that, make the motor of solid fuel rocket and run ground test. These are the picture of the process of building rocket motors. And this video is our solid fuel rocket in ground test current year. After that, design external ballistics use SpaceCat. For the body, we use glass fiber reinforced plastic. When process finished, launch those fuel rocket in NURA contest. For the hybrid rocket, the designing process is the same as the solid fuel rocket. First, choose the pressure of oxidizer tank and thrust. This year, we set 50 bar in the oxidizer tank and 30 bar for combustion chamber. And we set N2o for oxidizer and HDPE for fuel. Picture on the right is the drawing of HDPE grain and injector. Like solid fuel rocket, we designed internal ballistics using CEA or PEP code. Unlike solid fuel rocket, hybrid rocket takes two ways of ignition. One is pyrotechnic ignition using KNSB ignition. First one is pyrotechnic ignition, and second video is spark ignition. After that, make the motor of hybrid rocket, and these are pipes and chamber of hybrid rocket. After finishing building the motor, we run the ground test. This video is our hybrid rocket ground test. Then compare and analyze the result from the test and each pressure of combustion chamber and oxidizer tank and thrust power. Graph following is about thrust power and pressure of combustion chamber and oxidizer tank. After that, design fins and measure the expected altitude by designing external ballistics. When process finishing, finish it, launch those hybrid rocket and solid fuel rocket at N2o rocket contest. This is pyrotechnic mission. So far, this was a presentation about our rocket designing building process. Thank you for listening. Now I will have a Q&A section. Come on, Uyan and Yuan.
All right, now we will get Q&A section, and feel free to ask through the chat.
Yeah, feel free to ask question to him. Yeah. Yeah.
Hello. Should I ask in English or Korean?
Anything would be fine. Yeah.
All right. Then, well, first of all, thank you for your presentation. That was very interesting. And I want to know how your team deal with the safety factors. Safety factors. You know, the testing and the developing, or the process must be very dangerous. But isn't there any injuries or some kind of that?
네, 저희 질문 주셔서 먼저 너무 감사하고요. 질문자님께서 해주신 질문은 지금까지 일련의 과정들이 하이브리드 로켓을 개발을 하면서 일련의 과정들이 굉장히 위험해 보이고 세이프티 팩터를 어떻게 고려를 하셨는지 질문을 해주셨거든요. 이거에 대해 답변 혹시 해주실 수 있을까요?
일단 저희가 안전계수를 생각했던 게 그 연소기의 그 알루미늄 케이스 부분하고 그리고 축 방향 부분에 볼트하고 너트에 대해서 그 안전계수를 측정을 했는데 그때 응력 계산하는 그 식을 이용해 가지고 관련된 방정식을 이용해서 그렇게 계산을 해서 그 수치값을 대입했습니다.
So he used the equation, how much far it would go, and yeah, he made a protection for it.
I have one more thing where I just want to know not only the safety factor in the engineering part, but I mean the how can I say that? In the process, I mean the making process should be very dangerous. You have to make the trust materials and you have to build so many solid things. I just want to know how you thought about that kind of safety factors, not only engineering part.
네, 정말 감사하게도 첫 번째 질문을 주셨던 분께서 팔로우업 퀘스천을 주셨는데요. 이제 인젝터나 케이스, 볼트, 너트의 세이프티 팩터 말고도 이제 제작 과정 자체가 위험하잖아요. 왜냐하면 퓨얼 같은 걸 다뤄야 하니까 그런 거에 대해서 어떻게 이제 안전을 확인을 하고 어떻게 잘 보관을 하셨는지 그거에 대해 궁금하다고 하십니다.
일단은 저희 하이브리드 로켓 같은 경우에는 연료 자체가 HDP이기 때문에 뭐 연료에서의 위험성은 없다고 생각을 하고요. 그리고 산화제 또한 아산화질소여서 그 부분에 대해서는 보관 그쪽 부분에 대해서는 그래도 안전하다고 생각을 합니다. 그리고 저희 그 하이브리드 연구소가 있기 때문에 그 부분에서도 도움을 좀 많이 받았던 것 같습니다.
So I will translate his answer. Yeah, so he said the hybrid rocket engine fuel was not dangerous as you think because it's HDP, right? Yeah, and also the oxidizer was N2o, right? N2o, and it's also not dangerous as many people thought. And also we have a hybrid engine lab in the university, so we got a lot of help from them.
Thank you for that answer. I didn't know there is a hybrid lab, and thanks a lot.
We can get a question from the UAE through the chat room, so feel free to ask any questions to him. Or the questions about the N2o is okay too.
I think you haven't mentioned about the goals, is it? Yeah, I just want to know what is the goal? Like a trust time or the altitude.
이 로켓을 쏘면서 목표가 있을 텐데요. 고도라든가 채공 시간이라든가.
일단 올해 로켓 같은 경우에는 저희가 자세하게 안 다뤘던 이유가 저희의 제작 과정을 보여드리는 게 목표였기 때문에 안 다뤘는데, 올해 같은 경우는 점화 시스템을 이용하는 거 중간에 스파크 이그니션이라고 나왔는데 그 부분을 올해 저희가 처음 도입을 했거든요. 그래서 고도나 뭐 추력 같은 것보단 그 점화 시스템에 초점을 맞춰서 그렇게 설계를 했습니다.
We are not focusing on the altitude or the time it stays in the air, but we are now using spark ignition first time. So we are more focusing on that. So if it's successful or not.
Thank you. We got a question from the online platform.
How many members do you have in NURA, and how many girls? What kind of extra support do you want to receive from MCIT, KOR-UAE, and universities?
About this question, we have a team leader right this place here, so we can hear the answer from him.
And I'm a little bit like a chief of our NURA. Yes, is it? Before this year, about 2 years ago, we have about less than 10, but now we have more than 10. How amazing! Extra support do you want to receive from MCIT, KOR-UAE? Money, place, or something like scholarship, and presenting something for us.
Do you have any question? Oh.
하이브리드 로켓 제작하실 때 총 비용은 실험까지 더해서 모든 비용은 다 어느 정도 들으셨는지 궁금합니다.
Thank you for the question about the rocket. Thank you. And she asked about the cost to make a hybrid rocket, the whole cost, the fuel, the experiment, everything.
I was talking Korean. 이게 저희가 사실 산화제나 뭐 그런 부분에 대해서는 연료나 산화제 이 부분에 대해서는 사실 그게 많이 안 들었. 다른 부분에 대해서 그 외주 같은 비용에 대해 비해서 좀 많이 안 들었는데 저희 외주를 맡기는 비용이 생각보다 좀 많이 들어서 외주 비용이 좀 많이 들었던 것 같아요. 그래서 한 번 맡기면 뭐 저희 벌크헤드 같은 경우는 한 번에 맡기면 50 넘게도 막 나오고, 근데 이게 한두 번이 아니다 보니까 재설계를 거치다 보니까 정확히 말씀을 드리기가 힘들 것 같습니다. 예.
Well, the fuels and stuffs was not that expensive, but ordering outside was much more expensive, so we couldn't guess how much it would be. Yeah, so and bulkhead is over $50, so it was kind of expensive. And that's our answer.
Yeah, thank you for your presentation. And I want to ask you that do you guys do some tests before the contest, or the contest would be the first chance to launch the rocket?
Do we have chance to test the rocket?
Yeah,
before
that's the not only the engine. Yeah.
Oh.
네, 저희 마지막 질문 주셔서 정말 감사하고요. 특히 로켓에 관한 질문이어서 너무너무 감사드립니다. 네, 저희 그 프레젠테이션을 보시면 엔진 테스트 영상을 보여드렸었는데요. 질문자님께서 해주신 질문은 엔진 테스트 이외에 로켓 발사 대회 전에 혹시 로켓을 테스트해 볼 수 있는 기회가 있는지 여쭤봐 주셨습니다.
일단 쏘는 것 자체가 공역 허가를 받고 이런 부분 때문에 힘들 것 같아서 그 부분은 좀 저희가 못 해봤고 누라 대회 때 일단 날려볼 계획입니다.
So he talked about the other tests about except the ground test, engine ground test. He said there is no another test at the ground because the regulation problem. I'm so sorry, but we have a regulation problem, so we cannot launch the rocket before the contest. So Nura Festival would be our first and the last rocket test.
Yeah, we want one more question, just only one more. How did you get N2o?
일단 앞서 말씀드렸다시피 저희 학교에 하이브리드 랩실이 있기 때문에 그 경로를 통해서 구매하실 때 같이 구입하는 방식으로 그렇게 의료용 아산화질소를 구입했었습니다.
So he said, thankfully there is a hybrid lab in our university, so we can get from them. And so N2o was actually the medical one. Yeah. So I heard that this was the last question for this session. Yeah, is it okay? Yeah, thank you. So this was our Nura and Korean Aerospace University's hybrid rocket session. And thank you for having this place and this program to KOR-UAE Youth Aerospace Online Program. We really want to say thank you to the YAC.
It was for our session.